1 minute to go. You can start. We can start.
Yes, sure. So namaskar to all. And as Prasadji just mentioned, I'm a corporate trainer, so cannot help but am I audible to all of you? If yes, you can just nod your heads or give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. I am Tulika Pandit. I am a Karyakarta of Vivekananda Kendra. This week, this has been a week where we have witnessed illumination of diyas and lights all around us. And today, we all will witness the illumination of knowledge, of bhakti. I hope you all had a wonderful festival. Happy Deepavali to all of you. So when we talk about all of these things, when a mantra is chanted, it creates immense positive energy around us. It just fills us with bliss. And as we all know, we shall also begin our session with the Shanti part. I invite Raji Didi for the Shanti part. Raji Didi, over to you. You may unmute yourself.
Namaste Didi, namaste to all.
Namaste.
Let's start with the tones of Omkara. Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Dhanyavad Didi. Today is the 14th session of this wonderful journey towards understanding the essence of Amrita Parivar and Bhagavad Gita. I am very sure the festival of lights, Deepavali, we have all witnessed our families together. We have also witnessed the Amrita Parivar and all those teachings, all those learnings that we have gathered in the last 13 sessions. Mananiya Lakshmi Didi has been our guide, and she has been helping us achieve each milestone week by week in this wonderful journey of understanding the essence of Amrita Parivar. In the last session, she spoke on Bhakti Yoga and how is it that we can make our families this Amrita Parivar, and we can actually do that through imbibing the three things of Bhakti: Shraddha, which is faith; Ekagrata, that's concentration; and Tanmayata, which is dissolving. Now, through these, we can move further in Sakar or Nirakara Bhakti. She also enlightened us by mentioning Sarva Bhuto Hiterataha, no discrimination. She mentioned about, and I really liked that entire thing when she said credit card that was given to us by Krishna, where he actually says that, I pull them out of the dungeon of death, the one who surrenders totally. That is the credit card that we all have with us. As our guide, she also took us through the steps which were leading to bhakti, where she mentioned abhyasa, which is regular practice, which is to be the first one and to be the most important one. If in case you are not able to do abhyasa, then we also have matakarma paramo bhava, which is do all the work as God's work. Have that little feeling in you. And if even that is not working, then we have a sarva karma phalatyaga. Do not worry about the results. Just do your work. She also explained the last 7 shlokas that tell us about the characteristics of a bhakt. She explained us how to turn the Arishada Vargas for our journey towards God. A very simple example, kama. not for the worldly things, but let the karma be our desire to attain God. So Didi explained that by starting smaller rituals at our home, how we can sow the seed of Amrit Parivar in our families. We did all of that, and it is my immense fortune today that I have the opportunity to introduce the role model of a lot of karyakartas like me, an epitome of knowledge, grace, love, and humility, Mananiya Dr. M. Lakshmi Kumari. Didi has been the former president of Vivekananda Kendra. She joined Vivekananda Kendra in 1981 as a full-time worker. She has held the office of Joint General Secretary and later the office of Working President. After the demise of the founder, President Mananiya Eknathji Ranade, she was unanimously elected as the All India President of Vivekananda Kendra in the year 1984. She was the president till 1995. Currently, she is the lifetime chairperson of Vedic Vision Foundation, a branch of VK functioning from Kodangalur, Kerala. As a chairperson of Vedic Vision Foundation, she is relentlessly engaged in encouraging Vedic studies in different ways, like by promoting Sanskrit, publishing Vedic literature, conducting seminars, and many more. You must all know that Didi is a prolific writer. She has written books. Some of her articles have been compiled into books like Snakes and Ladder, which is based on the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Sita Must Live, a book devoted to women. Vande Mataram, a book which is filled with patriotic ideas, and several others in both English and Malayalam. She has been recipient of many prestigious awards, the latest ones being Dharma Jyoti Puruskar by Sanatan Dharma Parishad, Calicut, and Vivekananda Vibhuti Award by Vivekananda Yoga Anusandhan Samsthan. On this note, I request Manana Didi to take us towards the next step. Didi, it's over to you.
Thank you so much. Brahmachari Devrati Dandi Sarva Vedanta Pandita Srimad Viveka Yogi Mam Prachodayadu Sarvada. Hope you all had a very good, enjoyable Diwali with members of your family. I hope you all had in your heart the Amrita, which we have been accumulating over the last 12 lectures. And with that Amrita in your mind, how did you enjoy the Diwali among friends? How much you were enchanted by the external attractions? How much you were able to concentrate on that one truth within? When we see so many lights, illuminations, etc., it is very easy for us to contemplate that it is one electricity, one electric current that is lighting up all the different bulbs, whatever may be their shape, size, color. In the same way, we should develop a capacity to look at the whole world of creations, sun, moon, stars, our own beautiful earth, with all that paraphernalia, forests, mountains, rivers, rivulets, and numberless varieties of plants and animals. And above all, we, the human beings. And we do not know that when we were created, the Lord Almighty has, after giving us the limbs, all the other organs and everything, He has kept the treasure house of Amrita, knowledge, Satchidananda Amrita, within each one of us before we start our life's journey. Because we are unaware of this, we become enchanted by the sights we see, the sounds we hear, all that the Pancha Indriyas can bring to us, and mistakenly take it for granted that that is the truth. With this wrong understanding, as we get into our life's journey, we find so many mistakes are happening, so much of unwanted things are crowding into the mind. Mind is no more steady to contemplate on God, and our interests are scattered. We want money, position, power, relations, all that we want. And that was the condition in which Arjuna was at the beginning. But then, with Abara Karunya, Sri Krishna, step by step, releases Arjuna's mind from these bondages and leads him to the ultimate truth. When we were starting this journey, I had specially requested you that don't carry too much of luggage. The luggage of ego, luggage of our other worldly confusions, our attractions towards the world outside, our ahambhava, all that had to be left behind. And in the last 12 chapters, I'm sure we have become as light as possible in our this luggage, because this journey is going to be very, very steep a climb into the ultimate. By the time we come to the Moksha Sannyasa Yoga in the 18th chapter, we have to get rid of even our ahambhava in the body, mind, intellect. Just what they say in the Nirvana Shatka, and get on to the national highway which will take us Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. So from this 13th chapter, the journey is a steep climb. We can either think of it as a steep climb, or we can think of it as a deep immersion in the ocean of knowledge. We can, according to our like and dislike, we can choose, but I think it would be better for us to start taking this climb along with Sri Krishna, because Sri Krishna is there to hold our hand. So that is how we have coming to the 13th discourse of Sri Krishna. So earlier, through bhakti, we were asked to chisel out our personal ups and downs or smoothen our personality so that it will be easier for us to absorb, to develop Ananya Yoga Bhakti and think of God. So we found this principle of bhakti is of great help for us in our Amrita Parivar to smoothen our personalities. We all sit together and chant together, meditate together, sing bhajans together, sing beautiful songs on Bhagavan and his Leelas. There is definitely a bhakta's personality has a special flavor about it, a special aroma by which he looks at the world as Bhagavan's Leela. And in that way, a bhakta becomes a very, very special being. If a bhakta is there in the house, slowly the effect of that bhakti will start permeating into the house, transforming one by one all the other members. So that is how a bhakta will be a special asset in Amrit Parivar. Sri Krishna was very happy. He thought he's definitely one of Krishna's bhaktas, and through bhakti he will approach him. So Vishwarupa Darshana was a good explanation of the Sakara Upasana. But now Arjuna, a little more knowledgeable person that he is, this Sakara alone is not enough for me. I want to know more about the Nirakara also. No form, but the principle. Because of this Nirakara ingredient in our philosophy, Swamiji used to say, even if you destroy Krishna, Rama, anybody, everybody, still Hinduism will survive, because our religion is not based on personalities, but on principles. So these principles, that is what the Nirakara approach reveals to us. So Arjuna wanted to know, what is this? Tell me something about the Nirakara Bhava also. So, the earlier 6 chapters, now we are in the 13th, so we should just look back. The first 6 chapters concentrated on Tvam, Tattvamasi, in that the Tvam component, that is our I, my mind, what are the positive and negative aspects of it. All that was revealed in the first 6 chapters. The second chapters, there was a sudden elevation into the Tvam. And that was mostly in the Sakara form, because after listening to the Vibhuti Yoga, Arjuna felt, I want to see how this universal family of Bhagavan, who are the managing corporate managers, how they manage. I would like to see the working of the universe. My goodness. So Sri Krishna revealed through this Vishwarupa Darshana how the universe is in action. Pashyami devam stavadeva dehe. All the different deities with their particular ornaments, the instruments in their hands, and expressive of the work they do to keep up the, let us not forget, keep up the parasparya, the interrelationship, interconnectedness and interdependencies which are there prevalent in the whole universe. They are all worked out through these various godly forms. Arjuna was amazed to see this wonderful projection of the universal phenomenon. And finally he asked him, I am afraid, please come back to the form which is so dear to me. So Krishna comes back and then tells Arjuna, now that you know me in its essential fullness, there is nothing in this universe which is happening without my knowledge, consent, and desire. So, nimitta matram bhava sabyasaji. The 11th chapter gave us a most beautiful Upadesha, how to conduct our lives in this world. Amongst all this confusion and chaos and everything, nimitta matram bhava sabyasacha. Never be critical of another. Never pass your judgment on another. Because it's I who is managing it. What is it you know about it? One child, she was very good in class, but suddenly her marks becoming lesser and lesser. All the teachers started scolding her, beating her, making her stand upon the bench and everything, but she went on crying, never uttered anything. Finally, the headmistress asked her, then she said, my father is a drunkard and he beats up mother. So whole night we are shivering with fear, not able to take food, not able to take sleep. And how can I study? Morning, somehow I managed to come to the school. So we don't know what exactly is happening. We take the people, judge them wrongly most of the time. So never pass judgment. So that is why in one of the chapters, if you remember, in the 6th, I think, Samagra Vikshanam. Knowledge should be, your judgment should be based on Samagra approach. That is why so many witnesses are examined, so much of their time is taken to deliver a judgment in a case, because they want to examine the case from all angles. So in the same way, we should also develop the practice of Samagra Vikshana. If I do such a thing, if I put a paper not in the dustbin but in the outside, if I put my plantain skin not in the dustbin but outside, somebody may slip and fall. So this sort of a comprehensive vision of the whole, we should be able to cultivate. And Arjuna could understand much of it. And then he wanted to keep the memory of this vision constantly in his mind. He begs Krishna. Krishna says, that is not possible. Bhaktya tvananyaya shakyam. You have to develop ananya bhakti. No other aspirations, no other temptations, no other desires, but only God realization. Then, even then, you won't be able to see this Rupa of mine again. So when he said about bhakti, Arjuna wanted to know what exactly is the correct bhakti. And we had the very beautiful explanation of bhakti and how with bhakti the character changes. I said it smoothen out the character. Advaita sarva bhutanam, starting from there, how our character gets refined, polished. That is what finally a bhakta stands, almost like the Lord whom he worships. So Arjuna could understand that. Now he also wanted the jnani in him, was curious to know about the nirakara approach to divinity. This is very important for us because Krishna has named this particular yoga as Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga. Kshetra on one side, Kshetrajna on the other side. Kshetra, the field of activities, the Jagat, our body, our mind, intellect, where our karma bhala is being enacted by us, that is there as the Kshetra. And the one who permeates that, each and every cell of our body is permeated by a power And that power is Kshetrajna, the one who controls the Kshetra, one who is in full charge of the shape, size, activities, everything of the Kshetra. Not only of our body, but of this whole universe is the Kshetra. So that Kshetra, Kshetrajna division, Sri Krishna says, some will call it Prakriti Purusha, Jnana Jnaya. But anyway, now I shall tell you about this particular, you wanted to know the Nirakara Bhava. So how to differentiate between the Kshetra, lift your mind from your interest in the Kshetra, which is, when you say Sharira itself, it is ever decaying, dying, and lift it to the non-dying element in your life. For us, it is important because we are looking for Amrita Tattva. What exactly is in our life, in our family, in our relationships which are dying, always decaying, changing? There is definitely an aspect like that. Even our body is not the same today, tomorrow. The river which is flowing, every second it is changing. The sky, if you go on looking at the sky, we find the clouds take various formations, go on changing. They are all moving. Chalanatmaka. So this, do we keep our mind on this or concentrate on the undying factor? As we had been telling all the while, in all that is there, E is equal to mc squared, there is an undying Chaitanya, the potential divinity, as Swami Vivekananda has taught us, that is operating in each and every anu or cell in our being. So Arjuna has to slowly taught what are the dying things in these day-to-day transactions and how to lift his mind on to the higher level. This poses a question before us. Is it necessary for us all to understand all these esoteric aspects of human life? What is it we can achieve through this knowledge? I can study physics, maths, chemistry, get a degree, post-graduation, doctorate, get a job. But what is the use of this, accumulating this sort of a knowledge, this esoteric knowledge? What good it is for me? Why are they calling? In India, knowledge is compared to Agni, knowledge is compared to Ganges, knowledge is compared to Amrita. All of their characteristics, they purify. Agni purifies, Ganga purifies, Amrita purifies. So, by knowledge, we mean something which can purify us, purify our mind, intellect, our understanding, our approach. That is important. Even if you are going to be a worldly person, this Viveka, which will be good for me and which will not be good for me, that sort of a very, very practical understanding, that will help us. So never think knowledge, that is not important. I can muck up now. Our tab is there, YouTube is there, YouTube is there, all sorts of things is there. Taka, we get all the knowledge. Of what use is that knowledge? So here, India is probably the only heritage, cultural, spiritual heritage, which insists on character leading to revelation of knowledge. Surprising, isn't it? Have you ever thought of it? It is here that they have found out that real knowledge is not outside. It is within you. All that you Kasmin Bhagavan Vijnade Sarvamidam Vijnatam Bhavati. That knowledge, that essential Amrita Chashaka, Satchidananda Chashaka, is there within us. As I said earlier, when God has created us and sent us to this earth to live, He has kept it, but hidden within us. We have to search for it through our sadhanas and tapas, discover it, make it manifest in our life, and through our making use of this sharira, making use of this equipment, body, mind, and intellect, we have to impregnate them with this particular knowledge of the essence of Amrita, and then slowly travel in our evolutionary ladder. This is only in India. Character as important or more important than knowledge. In Western countries and elsewhere, there may be Nobel Prize winning professors, great scientists, but it is not necessary they have such a comprehensive knowledge which has transformed their character into something super. No, their character can be anything. We cannot be sure of their character. But here, when you say it is a Vasishtha or Vamadeva or Vishwamitra or somebody who has really enjoyed this Amrita Chashaka within them, they are superhuman beings. Their character is entirely different. Arjuna did not have this sort of an idea. Arjuna thought, Nirakara Brahma, I can hold on to Krishna's hand and walk into that enclosure or whatever may be, into that Amritalaya, he must have thought. But Sri Krishna makes him understand it is not so, because I told you, idam shariram kaundeya kshetramityabhidiyade. You have to know how to make use of this kshetra, purify this kshetra, and then reveal the kshetrajna who is working it out. So here the character is linked to the realization of the truth. That is why it is important for us who want to create an Amrita Parivar. The individuals have to be pure in character. We have to be very clear about it. If we have a bad character, which is not at all good for the society or the world. Earlier we used to say, Esmal no dvijate loka, lokal no dvijate chaya. Person enters into the house, everybody is under tension. What words will come out of him, what actions will follow, whether he will beat somebody or do. That should not be. So character is very, very important. Krishna in the Bhakti Yoga told us the Bhakta's character, how character is smoothened out and how a Bhakta will be endowed with such beautiful characteristics. Here, to get this knowledge, to avail ourselves of this Amrita Chashaka within us, which is kept locked up, we have to unlock. Not one lock, many locks are there. So each good quality in character we develop, we are unlocking one lock. Second quality, third quality, and finally, if we develop all those, then we find the whole Chashaka is there in front of us. And how it will be, Krishna describes in the last shlokas, what exactly is nature of the Amrita, how it will be. But before we go that, what about our character? How to improve our character? That is what is very, very important for us. So Sri Krishna, we have no other way than follow Sri Krishna's advice. He says, if you want to get this knowledge, purity of character, because it is only in a pure mind this intuitive knowledge will start blossoming and blazing forth. However much we may get things by heart or something like that, it will not make us a bhakta or a jnani. But once your mind is absolutely clear, like that of a Vyasa, that of a Sankara, that of a Vasishta, Vasishta gives the wonderful Yoga Vasishta, Vishwamitra gives us the Gayatri, so on and so forth. Endless are the contributions of our great seers to enrich our culture. From where they got it? Apavurusheya. If you ask them, I don't know how it came. In a moment of inspiration, it just flowed out of me. The Gayatri mantra or any of those wonderful things, it is just overflowed out of them. How they themselves do not know. So this character formation is very, very important. So we have seen Tvam Tad. First 6 chapters Tvam, Tad, then Tvam. Now, these have to be linked together. Tattvamasi. This linking, this coupling. If you have watched a railway station, how the engine comes and gets coupled to the bogies, it's a very, very terrible process. Terrific. They will come and make a great noise and the hook will automatically go and catch the bogey's hook. So in the same way, our character, as it gets purified and purified and purified, it starts revealing subtler and subtler truths. And suddenly, Pratyegatmanamaikshat, Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa. All this will take us to that knowledge. So now we are standing, unfortunately, at the very base. In the slokas 8 to 11, some 20 characteristics are described by Krishna for us to get rid from our mind. You will find all of us are carrying this luggage. Even if we have got rid of our ego, attachment, etc., still, when we face Krishna's analysis, we find still all these are within us. It will be an interesting exercise for us to see where we stand. So what we have to remember? The link between the Asi. Asi is the link. So if Tvam and Tat have to be joined together, purity of character is absolutely necessary. So when one's personality is established in truth, what will happen? He will become a universal man, man with capital M. Manava will become Madhava. Then Vasudeva Kudumbagam becomes his very nature. So that is our target. That is our lakshya. Let us start climbing towards it by understanding some of these descriptions which Krishna has put here. It is definitely not meant for Arjuna alone. It is meant for the whole of humanity. For all those like us who think we know Gita, who think we are bhaktas, who think we are dear to Krishna, all of us, it is meant. So it is a sort of security check. We are going to enter into the realm of the absolute knowledge. So to enter there, we have to go through this security check. So they are going to check us. Let us see where we stand. The very first thing is amanitvam. Oh, amanitvam. What is this amanitvam? Overconfidence. I am always right. Nobody can correct me. What I say is the truth. Don't you know who I am? What I say is the truth. Amanitvam. Absence of that. Amanitvam. We are all having manitvam. We have to put an A before it. Amanitvam. But if you have amanitvam, what will happen? Nobody can correct you. It's a very sad case. A man who is so much involved with his own egoistic assertion of knowledge and things like that, nobody can approach him, nobody can correct him. Very poor. Such people, when they get old, will suffer like anything. Nobody will be there to look after them. We should understand all that. So, amanitvam is not just a word Sri Krishna has used. It is so full of implications. Never think you are capable of anything you are. That is why Krishna has already given us. Nimitta matram, the big credit card. Nimitta matram bhava savyasaya. So, amanitvam. Second, ahimsa. Yes, we understand ahimsa. We don't kill anybody, we don't. Ahimsa, never to hurt anyone or anything. And of course, for us in India, ahimsa will immediately bring to our mind the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, who considered ahimsa as his very support of his work. If you are having himsa, what will happen? If you are having ahimsa, how will the world react towards you? World is afraid of the person who hurts the world. That is it. When you have himsa as part of your character, the people around you, the family members, the world is afraid of you. So what happens? The world has so much to offer for our growth. Our society, our people, our relations, they have to offer many things for us. For example, our mother gives us love, father gives us knowledge, guru gives us knowledge. So many things we have to acquire in our life. But if you are a himsatmik buddhi, this channel will be blocked. You won't be able to make use of the offerings which the world makes to you. Kshanti, forgiveness, tolerance. In front of such a person, the opponent becomes weak. He loses his hurting capacity. Whenever I think of this word, I remember Sarada Ma's experience. She was walking around the forest, no companion, everybody had gone in front. And suddenly a dacoit comes, seeing itself, in his form itself is terrifying, and he has a churiya in his hand. He comes to her with all the innocence of a daughter. She addresses him, Father, I am your daughter Sharada. I am going to your son-in-law's place in Calcutta. All my friends have left me. It is getting dark. Won't you help me to cross this forest? That dacoit just dissolved in the sweetness of this amrita of understanding which flowed out of Sharada's mouth. He lost his capacity to hurt and humiliate her. He took her to his kudiya, told his wife, she is our daughter, look after her. Tomorrow, both of us together will take her to Dakshineshwar. Impossible to imagine, isn't it? So, in front of such a person, the opponent loses his strength and he may even turn to be a benefactor. Next comes arjavam, simplicity, to have no crookedness in your dealing. The world will also behave towards us in the same way. Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari. if you are straightforward towards the world also will deal with you in the same way. Acharyopasanam, service of the Guru. That helps to eliminate our ego. Shaucham, cleanliness of body and mind. Hindu tradition attaches much importance to the cleanliness of the body and mind. That we have to take a bath, and during the bath, some prayers or some mantras for external and internal purification. The other day I saw a news somewhere in Iran or somewhere, there was a man, for 90 years he has not taken bath, I believe. And he finally died. So it is very important to keep having this cleanliness of body and mind. Stairyam, steadfastness. What do you want to become? Engineer. If it is not engineer, then doctor. If that also is not possible, then I would go for my favorite music. See, the capacity of the mind, the training you give to the mind to be steadfast in your resolve. I want to join Vivekananda Kendra, but before that, I will finish my BBA, MBA, and so on, so that in case they don't take me, I will have my job to do. Not like that. You have decided. Now, that is the end of it. Nothing can change your mind. So, stairyam, atma vinigraha, self-control. As the time is up little quicker. Indriyartheshu vairagyam. Sense objects do not tempt us. Anahankara. It is almost like a manitam, but slight variation. No egotism at all. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanudarshanam. Be aware of the hidden dukkha in everything, in our janma, in our experiences, in our family, everywhere. Dukkha is a hidden factor. When you search for sukha, remember, as its shadow, dukkha is also there. So don't go after sukha. So dukkha also won't be there. So janma, to see the awareness of the hidden dukkha. Asakti putra dara grihadishu. All right, you become a householder, but don't have this mamata attachment. Mamaka pandavaschaiva. The very first beginning sloka, this sort of unwanted attachment towards your, leave that. Asakti putra dara grihadishu. Anabhishwanka. You know, very often our mind gets disturbed for no reason. That person, why did he behave like that towards me? What was the meaning of that word he uttered? He was to come, but he never came. He did not phone up. So mind will go on thinking, making so many negative assertions, and that will disturb us. If this happens from our own family people, our wife, family, children, then it becomes all the more. So, anabhishvanga, negative and sorrowful thoughts created by one's own imagination. So, never allow your imagination to create these disturbing thoughts within your mind. Nityam samachittattvam, even-mindedness. Whatever happens, sukha or dukkha, ninda or stuti, samachittattvam, nityam cha samachittvattam. Mai ananya yogena avyabhicharini bhakti. Bhagavan already in the bhakti yoga has given us the description of the true bhakti. So we must try to develop that sort of a bhakti. Vivikta desha sevitvam. As far as possible, keep an ekanta place for meditation. Don't waste time unnecessarily in the crowd, with the mundane crowd, mundane society. They are discussing about Deepavali purchases. They are discussing about gold. It doesn't interest us at all. So keep away from all that. Arati jana samsadi. Adhyatma jnana tattva. Whenever possible, try to improve upon, whether through satsanga or reading or contemplation. Spend some time on improving your adhyatma knowledge. Sri Krishna declares that these above mentioned gunas, they are the real knowledge. Why did he say like that? This Krishna is very clear. He says, this is knowledge. According to my opinion, this is real knowledge. It is clear that spiritual knowledge which takes man to higher evolutionary level is not bookish knowledge, but something which requires purification of heart. So when Krishna says this is knowledge, he says, as you improve upon all these, the knowledge becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. Subtler and subtler realms of knowledge get revealed to you. And the learned say in this first 10 are for brahmacharis to practice, 11 to 14 for grihasthas, 15 to 18 for vanaprasthis, and 19 and 20 for sannyasis. So this is the asi, the connection. We found tvam, we found tat, and how to connect them through our lives. If it was just a bookish knowledge writing, it is no problem. We can write, connect them. But our samskaras insist on these are not to be kept as a bookish knowledge. Asi, bring them. Tad tvam asi. This connection. To bring the connection of tvam and tad, all these chains are necessary. All these links are necessary. Amanittam, adambittam, ahimsa, all these are necessary so that that connection becomes truly worthwhile. When you develop this, detachment comes to you naturally, knowledge becomes purer and purer, and you are right on the royal pathway, Rajpath, leading to Rashtrapati Bhavan. We can say leading to Vaikuntha. National Highway number 1. It becomes straight to New Delhi and to wherever we want to go. So a study of Kshetratnya Vibhaga Yoga, we should be in a position to eradicate negative materialistic tendency and harbor more and more spiritual qualities which will lead us to emancipation. To cultivate this knowledge in practical life, the best tuition center is our home. You don't have to go to a university, to a school or an institution or anywhere. This study should start from our home. And who are our teachers? Matra Devo Bhava, Pitra Devo Bhava. Our own parents, our own elderly people, our own gurus under whom we take training. So all these people can remove these wrong tendencies and make our evolution, put us on the real evolutionary ladder, which will take us to the higher level of emancipation. So Kshetratnya Yoga, I have taken only what is relevant for our Amrita Tattva because it is a chapter which needs very deep contemplation. And in the end, anyway, Krishna says, what will this knowledge, what exactly would you come to realize after that? Yavat samjayate kinchit sattvam sthavara jangamam kshetra kshetrajna samyogad tadviddhi bharadarshana. Anywhere in the 10th chapter he said, Yadyad vibhudimat sattvam srimad urjidameva tatadeva vagachatvam mama tejamsha sambhavam. He's almost repeating the same. Anywhere there's a spark of life and anything, remember, the kshetra kshetrajna samyoga. The life-giving principle, is working in that. And how do I work? Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtandam parameshwaram. Understand? I have no partiality. Vasudhaiva kudumbaka. Even the small animals, big trees, gigantic planets, samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtandam parameshwaram. What happens there? Vinashyal swavinashyandam. In everything there be a dying part and an undying part. Remember me as the undying part. And that is the person who has a real vision. Then he says, it is a very beautiful sloka. One thing which we all have to understand, yatha sarvagadam saukshmyad akasham nopalipyate sarvastravastito dehe tatatma nopalipyate. Understand? This kshetrajna, I work in everything. But just as the akasha, let akasha be your guru. Nothing can pollute the akasha. The air may get polluted, move here and there. Akasha, nothing happens. In the same way, this primordial principle, the kshetrajna, cannot be disturbed by anything. So I am the inner power, inner divinity within everything in this universe. So by improving our character, that is the most important thing in this. We cannot reach up to that national highway unless we improve our character. So this character building, Swamiji has stretched so much on that, character building religion, character building, nation building. So this character is very important. From the Mrita levels, we have to raise it, and take it to the Amrita level. In all those characters which we have enumerated, that positive part leads us to Kshetrajna, negative part retains us in the Kshetra. So it is a very good way, but that is why he has brought this characterization. This is the only way in which we can take our mind off from the dying, ephemeral parts of our components of our life, family, relationships, and take it on to the Kshetrajna. Tishtandam Parameshwaram. I am the Parameshwaran who is lording over the whole universe of Kshetra. That is how Krishna makes Arjuna understand. So, Nirakara Rupa is not something where you can buy a ticket and go and sit and watch the show. Step by step. Why is 12 years for a brahmachari before he is given a sannyasa? Why some training is necessary before you are inducted into a corporate company? So some smoothening has to take place. Some leveling has to take place. So in that way, when Bhagavan wants to accept us as his own, these are the characteristics we have to develop. to approach him. So, Nitya Viveka, Sri Krishna, making use of Kshetra Kshetrajna principles, make us understand what is Nitya, what is Anitya, and keeps it open for us to choose the way of the Nitya and understand him more and more. Maybe in our work, in our actions, we can make him relevant in everything by work or worship, psychic control or philosophy, by one or more, and all of them be free. We can make this undying. Our work can become undying when it becomes Karma Yoga. Our emotions become undying when it becomes Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, Jnana Yoga. So that is the great gift of India. How to make Jnana pure and subtle through your own efforts and center your personality in that powerful, most potent medicine, that is Jnana. So with this thought in our mind, we shall conclude the Kshetra Kshetrajna Yoga. As usual, I would advise all the listeners to take up and read that chapter once again and keep it fresh in your mind. We will pick up some of the slogas for our Gita Japamala, which we will make in the end after the 18th chapter. So, Shubharatri to all of you.
Dhanyavad, Didi. As always, it was absolutely filled with so much of knowledge, so much of gyan, and trust me, we are all writing pages and pages of notes while you talk to us. One thing which I will definitely say, we are following. So there are a lot of philosophers, Eric Berne, Harry Love, Simon Sinek, for example, today, and they all talk about ego states. They talk about behaviors. They talk about faith. They talk about empathy and understanding perspectives. And we follow them. We admire them for what kind of work that they are doing. But honestly, I feel so proud when I am listening to these. The thoughts that you share, Didi, that, it makes me proud that these were all said centuries ago by Krishna himself, and culminates everything in one chapter where people are doing multiple researches. So much of Dan, thank you for sharing this with all of us. Any questions? If we have, let us take a couple of minutes. If you have any questions, if you want to share something, this is your moment. Please do that.
Raghunandan ji is there.
Namaste.
Namaste. Share something.
As usual, it was wonderful, Didi. And to begin with, we can start from the specialization which you had during your university days. They say that the cell has only external awareness. I mean, it can feel the world outside and not within it. And respected Swami Ranganathanji always used to say, man alone is such a creature who can see the world outside, perceive the world outside, become aware of the world outside, and also himself.
Wonderful.
And this aspect, I think, is used by our Adhyatmic rishis, our sages. And Krishna has so beautifully put it in the 13th chapter. And rightly you had said that this is really an uphill task because it's a huge trekking that is involved. But then one wonderful example which you gave was that this awareness which is there, it is locked up within so many levels of locks. And those 20 characteristics which you gave are actually the keys with which we can unlock these levels. And I'm sure that all of us are benefited by this series of obviously, and today especially it was really wonderful. And well, thank you so much.
Welcome.
Lakshmi Didi, Adharana Lakshmi Didi, I'm Jinali here from Delhi. कामादा के समय आपको मिला था। कामादा जब हमें गुवाहाटी में गए थे तो बहुत सीखा था आपको भी। आई मेट यू इन अरुणाचल ऑल्सो, अरुणाचल प्रदेश। और दीदी आई एम blessed today's class and we have learned a lot.